Good evening everyone. Okay, so let's continue with control and coordination, right? पिछले क्लास में हमने एक नया चैप्टर स्टार्ट किया है and we have understood so far how control and coordination between various activities in our body is very much essential for producing appropriate response to a stimulus. What is a stimulus? Any change in the external environment is stimulus. So for plants, presence of light, absence of light, or presence or absence of water, right? Stimulus of touch, all these will be bringing out specific responses. In animals, जैसे पिछले क्लास में हमने एक एग्जांपल लिया था, right? If we see a lion in jungle, then definitely we will show a response that we might run away, right? So we understood what is control and coordination and how it is important for proper growth and development of our body. Then we started with the control and coordination in plants, जहाँ पे सबसे पहले जो हमने पढ़ा है that is growth in movements, और हमने एक example पढ़ा है wherein if we give the stimulus of touch to the mimosa plant, जो यहाँ पे आप diagram में देख सकते हो, सही? If you give the stimulus of touch, then the leaflets of the leaf close. ये देखो यहाँ पे close हो रहे हैं, सही है? So what main change occurs here is the cells of the leaf lose water, and as they lose water, the cells shrink, and this leads to change in the shape of the cells of leaf. This will lead to closing of the leaflets of the leaf. Again, after some time, when there are some hormonal changes, the cells again gain water and they become turgid, full of water, and the leaf opens up. So this is where we see movement is occurring in plants. यहाँ पे movement तो दिखाई दे रही है, but there is no growth. As you give the stimulus of touch, the leaves close, and after some time they will again open up, right? So here movement हो रही है, हाँ हो रही है, but क्या growth हो रहा है? Is there any growth? No. So this is growth independent movement. So let's see few more examples of growth independent movements, and then we will also study about the growth dependent movements. Okay, so let's continue. So some more examples of growth independent movements. Okay, यहाँ पे सबसे पहले हम example लेंगे of lotus, which is blooming, which is opening, right? So when light is present, in presence of light, we can see that the flower opens up, right? So here light will be the stimulus. When light is present, only in this scenario, the flower is opening, right? So light is the stimulus, and what is the response? Opening of the flower, right? Next, one more example which we can see is, okay, देखो यहाँ पे response क्या है? Lotus open हो गया, सही है? In the morning. Next, in some plants like in tuberose, we can see when light is absent. Okay, when light is absent. So at night time, these flowers will open up. Okay, so your stimulus is absence of light. यहाँ पे stimulus क्या है? Absence of light. And you can see during night time, the flowers are opening. So what is the response here? Here the response is opening of flower at night. So in some plants, light will act as stimulus for opening of flowers, and in some plants, these are night blooming plants, right? They basically require absence of light for opening of the flower buds, right everyone? So क्या यहाँ पे कोई growth involved है? Not necessarily, right? So this is also growth independent movement. Okay, let's see few more examples. So in case of Drosera, okay, here you can see as the insect basically gives the stimulus of touch, you can see how the plant curls up, how the leaf curls up, and this leads to trapping of the insect. So your stimulus is the touch of an insect, right everyone? ये देखो insect है. As soon as the insect sits here, we can see it gets trapped. सही है? तो यहाँ पे response क्या है? In the Drosera plant, which is an insectivorous plant, this plant traps insect. Stimulus is touch and the response of the plant is that the Drosera curls up. As it curls up, the insect will be trapped. Then this insect is digested, and after digestion, various nutrients, elements which are released, this will be used up by the plant, right? Let's see next example. So insectivorous means insect eating plants. Okay, let's see the one more example. Again, one more insectivorous. Okay, Venus flytrap. Okay, so again, Venus flytrap. This plant also looks and also smells like a flower, so that different insects are. See in the diagram, as soon as the insect gives the stimulus of touch, as soon as the insect sits here, there is closing of the plant here, right? This structure is basically closing. What is the stimulus? Touch. Okay. So here you can see stimulus is touch of an insect to trigger the hair. As soon as there is triggering of the hair, it will lead to the response. And what is the response of the plant? The Venus flytrap shuts. Okay, this is like a trap for the insect. That is why it is called Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap is the insects. So in Drosera and in Venus flytrap, in both these insect trapping plants, insectivorous plants, we can see the stimulus is touch. As soon as the insect visits the plant and touches the plant body, then the insect is trapped due to movement. अब यहाँ पे भी क्या कोई No, it is simple movement in the plant. ये भी growth independent movement है. Clear है इतना सबको? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. One more example. The fruit of balsam plant. Okay, so here you can see. As soon as the fruit is given the stimulus of touch, as soon as it comes in contact with any surface, then the fruit is burst open to release all the seeds. So here, stimulus is touch and response is the explosive opening, burst opening of the fruit. Why? Why the fruit should open up? So that all the tiny seeds which are present will scatter, they will disperse, and whenever favorable conditions are present and water is available, these seeds will germinate, right? Again, observe carefully. As soon as the fruit is eating, what we can see? And response is basically burst opening of the fruit. Is it clear everyone? Very good. चलो अब आगे पढ़ते हैं. Okay. So far we have understood the various examples of growth independent movement. क्या देख रहे हैं आप? क्या देखा है अभी तक? Growth independent. मतलब यहाँ पे movement तो है, लेकिन कोई cells divide नहीं हुए हैं, cell enlargement नहीं हुआ है. There is no growth. It is simple movement. Okay. So for such growth independent movements, water loss and water gain is very important. As the cells lose water, the cells will shrink and this will lead to change in the shape of the structure. तो ये तो हो गए सारे हमारे growth independent movement. Now let us start with the second type of plant movements, that is growth dependent movements. Okay, growth dependent. Now what is the meaning of growth dependent movements in plants? Okay, let's try to understand. Movement or growth of any part of the plant in response to an external stimulus is called growth independent movement, and such movements are also known as tropic movements. Tropism. Okay, और एक बार ध्यान से डेफिनेशन देखना है. अभी हम क्या पढ़ रहे हैं? ग्रोथ इंडिपेंडेंट मूवमेंट पढ़ रहे हैं. सही है. तो ग्रोथ इंडिपेंडेंट मूवमेंट का मतलब क्या है? Your movement will be observed, but your cell division or cell enlargement, सही है, some form of growth will also be involved. So this is growth dependent movement. Movement or growth of any part of plant in response to an external stimulus is called growth independent movement, or this is also known as tropism. Okay, tropic movements. Here also hormones play a very important role. Okay, so अभी हम कुछ examples के मदद से growth dependent movements को पढ़ेंगे. Who shows the growth dependent movement? Let's try to understand. Movement in a seedling is always growth dependent. So when you start with a seed, okay, in favorable conditions, what we will see is seed will germinate to give rise to root and shoot system. सही है? तो क्या यहाँ पे सेल्स डिवाइड हुए हैं? हाँ, नहीं तो प्लांट कैसे बढ़ेगा, राइट? There is cell division, there is cell growth, right? Individually also the cells are growing, they are elongating, new structures are formed. So definitely here whatever growth you can see, whatever movement you can see is also involving growth, right? New cells are added. So here you can see from seed, after germination you have new plants, new structures which are formed, root and shoot system is formed. So यहाँ पे growth भी हो रही है और हमें मूवमेंट भी दिखाई दे रहा है. सो दिस इज ग्रोथ इंडिपेंडेंट मूवमेंट. ओके, ये ट्रॉपिक मूवमेंट्स भी इनको कहा जाता है. सो फार वी हैव सीन दैट मूवमेंट और ग्रोथ ऑफ एनी पार्ट ऑफ प्लांट इन रिस्पॉन्स टू एन एक्सटर्नल स्टिम्युलस इज कॉल्ड ग्रोथ डिपेंडेंट मूवमेंट और ट्रॉपिज्म. ओके, सिंपली ट्रॉपिक मूवमेंट्स. So, what are the various types of tropic movements? Okay, तो यहाँ पे हम mainly 4 types discuss करेंगे. Okay, now this is very very important. Let's try to understand. Growth dependent movements. That means tropic movements are of 4 types. Okay, let's see one by one which are these 4 types. First, phototropism. Photons means light. So what will be the stimulus? Here light will be the stimulus and movement will occur with respect to the presence or absence of light. So this is phototropism. Tropism है मतलब ये ट्रॉपिक मूवमेंट है, मतलब यहाँ पे ग्रोथ इन्वॉल्व है. और फोटो का मतलब यहाँ पे स्टिम्युलस क्या होगा? लाइट. सही बात है. अब दूसरा टाइप देख लेते हैं. सेकेंड टाइप इज कीमोट्रोपिज्म. Chemotropism. Chemo refers to chemicals, right? Chemo refers to chemicals. So here the stimulus are some chemicals and movement which is shown or the response which is shown towards specific chemicals is known as chemotropism or chemotropic movement. Okay, we will understand each type in detail. Okay, अभी सिर्फ हम 4 कौन से टाइप से ये तो पहले देख लेते हैं. Phototropism, chemotropism. Then we have the third type, gravitropism. Gravi here refers to the word gravity. So here gravity will be, that means Earth's gravity will be the stimulus. And how different plants or different parts of the plant, how do they respond? Now root and the stem will respond differently to light, to gravity. Right? Their response will be exactly opposite. Right? Like stem or the shoot will grow towards the light source but away from gravity. But roots will grow in the soil. That means towards gravity but away from sunlight. So you can see as the stimulus is changed, different parts of the plant are also responding in a different manner. Right? चौथा टाइप देखते हैं कौन सा है. The fourth type is hydrotropism. Here hydro word refers to water. So here stimulus will be water and the response, the movement with respect to water will be hydrotropism. Okay. So growth dependent movements or tropic movements, that is tropism, is of 4 types. Okay. What are the 4 types? Chemotropism, gravitropism and hydrotropism. Phototropism में light ये stimulus होगा, chemotropism में chemicals, gravitropism में gravity of earth and hydrotropism में water. Okay, एक एक करके हम हर टाइप को with example अच्छे से समझेंगे. Okay, पहले 4 टाइप्स ये नाम याद रखो. Photo, chemo, gravi and hydrotropism. Clear? अब सबसे पहले हम समझेंगे what is the meaning of phototropism and how phototropism occurs in plants. Okay. Here also hormones play a very important role. Let's try to understand. So here you can see we have a plant. Okay. And from one side, okay, from this particular side, you can see the plant is receiving sunlight. Okay. This will be equivalent to, let's say we have a potted plant in our house. Okay. And one side of the plant is exposed to sunlight. Okay, maybe there is a window, so you have sunlight coming from one direction और दूसरे direction से light नहीं मिल रही है. समझ में आया सबको? तो अभी ये plant कैसे respond करेगा? सोचो इसके बारे में. Yes, see, you can see a plant. You can see from this particular side you have the sun, so sunlight is received, but from other side sunlight is not received or less sunlight is received. So what changes will occur in this plant? Yes, slowly this shoot system, that is the stem, branches, leaves, this shoot will bend towards sunlight. सही है? क्या होगा? This plant will bend towards sunlight so that leaves will be exposed to the sunlight. More light can be absorbed for photosynthesis. Is it clear everyone? Right? तो अभी हम इसका mechanism समझेंगे. So the shoot system of any plant, this is the shoot system. ये ऊपर above the soil surface जो भी है ये shoot system है, and below the ground whatever you can see, this is the root system. So the shoot system of any plant responds towards the stimulus of light. So here light is the stimulus. Here the shoot grows in the direction of source of light. This movement exhibited by the plant is called phototropic movement. Okay? अब ध्यान से समझना है. Light is the stimulus. External environmental factor है. ये क्या है? Stimulus है इस plant के लिए. Plant कैसे respond कर रहा है? Plant is basically bending towards the light source, right? So this will be the phototropic movement. Now, if we compare the stem and the root, stem will bend towards the light source, but roots will not go towards the light source. They will generally grow away from the light. So, if the movement of any plant part is towards the stimulus, it is known as positive tropism. So, here shoot is positively phototropic because here the stem, here the shoot is growing towards the light source. So, here shoot is positively phototropic. But roots, they are not growing towards light, they will grow away from light. So, your root will be negatively phototropic. Is it clear everyone? Shoot growing towards light, so positively phototropic. Root growing away from light, so this will be negatively phototropic. Okay? Phototropism क्या होता है? It is the movement or the response shown by the plant body with respect to light stimulus. Clear? This is the phototropic movement. Now, the question is, why does this happen? Okay, how or what actually regulates bending of the shoot towards the light source? So here comes our first hormone. Okay, that is auxins. Okay, so let's try to understand the mechanism. Let us magnify the upper part of the stem. Okay, so here you can see ये जो इतना particular region है, इसको हम अभी zoom करके देखेंगे और समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. So this is basically, here you can see in the diagram, this is the ending part of the stem, and here you can see all the cells, epidermis and other tissues will be present. This tip of the shoot, okay, यहाँ पे present है ना, यही part हमने यहाँ पे zoom करके देखा. Here you can see this shoot part is exposed to sunlight. Now this particular portion here is exposed to sunlight, but this particular side is not exposed to the sunlight. समझ में आ रहा है सबको? ये वाला part जो है ये sunlight को exposed है और ये वाला जो part है ये sunlight को exposed नहीं है. Now what will happen is, at the tip of the stem, here at the tip of the stem, there is a hormone called auxin. कौन सा hormone है? Auxin. This is a plant growth regulator. It is simply a plant hormone which helps in cell elongation. ऑक्सिन का एक important काम क्या है? Wherever auxin hormone will be present at higher concentrations, cells will elongate. They will increase in length. Okay? So now, function of auxin. ये देखो यहाँ पे auxin synthesis हो गया at the shoot ending. Okay? But auxin hates light. Okay? क्या याद रखना है? Auxin hates light. Now, this particular part of the stem is exposed to light, and this particular part is not exposed to light. This is the shaded part. Auxin molecules, these dot, these are auxins. These auxin molecules hate light. So, where will they move? They will move here at the shaded part. सही है? तो अब ये auxins move करेंगे from the light part to the shaded part. देखो, auxins are sensitive to light, so they cannot tolerate light. So they have to move to the shaded part. So as the unidirectional sunlight, इसी तरफ से sunlight मिल रही है ना plant को. So as the unidirectional sunlight falls on the this sunny side, this particular side of the plant, okay, क्या हो जाएगा? Yes, here you can see shaded side, shady side and sunny side of the entire plant. Okay, क्या होगा? चलो सोचो. ये देखो, ये दिखा आपको? और एक बार देख लेते हैं. देखो पहले ऑक्सीजन यहाँ पे था, अब धीरे धीरे यही ऑक्सीजन के मॉलिक्यूल्स कहाँ पे मूव किए? Here, from light part to shaded part. सही है? Now oxygen is present at higher concentration here in the shaded part. ऑक्सीजन का काम क्या होता है? To promote cell elongation. So ये जो cells दिख रहे हैं आपको, ये सारे cells, as they are exposed to higher oxygen concentration, they will start growing, they will start elongating, and this will result in the bending. Oxygen causes the cells of the stem to elongate to make them properly observe करना है. देखो ये change, देखा? Due to elongation, ये क्या हुआ? Stem bended towards the sunlight. Okay. So if we have to conclude the entire phototropism process, okay, what is phototropism? Here plants are showing growth dependent movement. Now see here, there is cell elongation, the cell size increased. So यहाँ पे growth तो हो रहा है, stem का length increase हुआ है, सही है, movement है और growth भी है. So this is growth dependent movement with respect to the stimulus of light, and that is why this is called phototropic movement or phototropism. Is it clear everyone? Phototropism. What is the mechanism? Auxin molecules are synthesized at the stem tip. Auxin is sensitive to light. It cannot tolerate light. So auxin molecules diffuse in the shaded part of the stem. Auxin का काम क्या होता है? Stem elongation, this cell elongation here, the cells got elongated. Due to the unequal growth on both the sides, there is more growth in this shaded part and hence the stem automatically bend towards the light source. So this is what we can see, bending of the stem towards the light source. Here growth is involved and there is movement. So this is growth dependent movement, as light is the stimulus. This is phototropic movement. क्या ये सबको क्लियर है? जल्दी से चैट बॉक्स में बताओ. Everyone, phototropic movement. Everyone clear with this? Come on everyone, tell me in the chat box. Yes? Everyone? चलो जल्दी से बताओ चैट बॉक्स में, क्या ये सबको क्लियर है? वेरी वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. Shall we move to next? Okay, phototropism तो हमने समझ लिया, अब हम नेक्स्ट वाला भी देखेंगे, ठीक है? ये देखो प्लांट ग्रो हो रहा है and it is also slowly bending towards the लाइट सोर्स, ये प्लांट थोड़ा बेंड हुआ, सही है, फोटोट्रॉपिज्म। अब नेक्स्ट वाला देख लेते हैं। सेकेंड टाइप क्या है हमारा? ग्रेविट्रोपिज्म। सेकेंड टाइप क्या है? ग्रेविट्रोपिज्म। व्हाट इज द स्टिम्युलस? यस एवरीवन, ग्रेविट्रोपिज्म में स्टिम्युलस क्या है? ग्रेविटी ऑफ अर्थ, सही है। अब एक सिंपल से क्वेश्चन का जवाब आपको चैट बॉक्स में बताना है, ओके। टेल मी इफ वी कंपेयर stem, okay, that is the shoot, and the root. Okay, we are comparing shoot and root. Out of these two parts, which part will grow towards gravity? Which part grows in the soil? Shoot or root? Part of the plant will grow towards gravity. Towards gravity, that means in the soil. This is very simple question. Come on everyone. Very good. Root. सही है? Roots grow in the soil. So they will grow with the attraction of gravity. But when we compare it to the shoot system, the stem, the branches, they will away from gravity. Right? They will grow away from gravity. तो अभी ये positive, negative वापस हमें discuss करना है. Now see here. Roots are growing towards gravity and that is why they are positively gravitropic. Okay? And shoot system is growing away from the gravity and hence it is negatively gravitropic. Okay? So now one by one, let's try to understand the process. Root system of plants respond to the stimulus of gravity. Okay? Roots grow towards gravity in the soil. Negatively gravitropic. Is it clear? Everyone, is it clear? जल्दी से बताओ. वेरी गुड. चलो अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. हाइड्रोट्रोपिज्म. हाइड्रोट्रोपिज्म, व्हाट इज द स्टिम्युलस हियर? वाटर. ओके, देखो ग्रेविट्रोपिज्म में जैसे ग्रेविटी स्टिम्युलस था एंड रूट्स ग्रो टुवर्ड्स द ग्रेविटी. सो दिस मूवमेंट इट इन्वॉल्व्स ग्रोथ, तो वो ग्रेविट्रोपिक मूवमेंट हो गया. अब हम बात करें हाइड्रोट्रोपिक मूवमेंट की. हाइड्रोट्रोपिज्म, हियर स्टिम्युलस विल बी वाटर. Okay, now again everyone tell me in the chat box, if we compare shoot and root, out of these two parts, which part of the plant grows towards water? Yes, which one will be attracted to water? Root or shoot? Yes everyone. चलो फटाफट बताओ सब लोग चैट बॉक्स में. रूट और शूट, which part grows towards water? It will be obviously the roots, right? Roots need to absorb water and minerals from the soil. So roots will grow in the soil. We were studying tropic movements, okay, and we reached hydrotropism. What is hydrotropism? Here the roots grow towards the water. सही है? So here the root system, as we can see here in the diagram, it is moving towards the source of water. So roots are positively hydrotropic. But the shoot system, the stem, do not grow towards water. So the shoot system will be negatively hydrotropic. Here water is the stimulus and plant parts are responding towards this stimulus in a definite manner. The root system is responding and growing towards the presence of light, stimulus of light. Wherever water is present, the roots will grow in that particular direction. So, when the plants, okay, or the plant parts, like here in this case root, is growing with respect to the stimulus of water, this growth dependent movement is known as hydrotropism. hydro for water, and we have the tropic movement, that is growth dependent movement. Okay, so let's see the next type now, that is chemotropism. Okay, देखो अभी तक हमने क्या क्या पढ़ा है? Phototropism, next gravitropism, third hydrotropism, and now we are studying the fourth type, that is chemotropism. Okay, again very easy to understand. Okay, so here you can see diagram of a complete flower, a bisexual flower. Okay, it has four balls. As you can see, these green things here, right? ये क्या है? These are the calyx. Okay, sepals, right? ये पूरा जो ball है, this. Can you see here, everyone in the diagram? This one. Here, these green parts. Okay, these are individually sepals and collectively all are called calyx. Then we have this second wall made up of petals. Collectively it is the corolla. Okay, when we will study reproduction chapter, we will discuss about flower structure in detail. Okay, अभी के लिए हमें chemotropism क्या है ये अच्छे से समझना है. Then we have the androecium, and these are the individual units, the stamens. And the innermost wall of the flower is basically the gynoecium, and here you can see it has three parts. This basal swollen region called ovary. Then you have this long tube-like structure. सही है? दिख रहा है सबको? Long tube-like structure. This green tube. सही है? This is the style, and this ending part, this is the stigma. So pollen grain, which contains the male gametes, is received by this stigma, this particular ending or terminal structure. This receives the pollen grain, and there are certain sweet chemicals which are secreted by the ovary. Okay, ovary will release some chemicals. The pollen grain which is received by the stigma will grow a tube-like structure called pollen tube, and this tube grows in the attraction of these chemicals released by the ovary. So this will be again a classic example of chemotropic movement. Okay, so let's try to understand. It is the movement of plant part in response to certain chemicals. For example, as you can see, ये देखो diagram में दिख रहा है, pollen grains are released by the stigma, right? Next, observe carefully. Chemicals which are secreted from the ovules. Okay, these tiny structures, circles, these are the ovules which are present in the ovary. So here chemicals are released. Okay, a tube-like structure. Can you see? ये वापस देखो एक बार. A tube-like structure grows, which is known as pollen tube. So pollen tube generates from the stigma towards the ovule, because ovules inside the ovary have released the chemicals. So in response to these chemicals released by the ovary, a thin tube-like structure called pollen tube is grown. Now, here there is growth involved. Yes. In attraction to chemicals. Yes. So this type of tropic movement is called chemotropism. Okay, क्या यहाँ पे आप सब लोग देख सकते हैं? ये pollen grains है और यहाँ पे thin tube grow हो रही है. सही है? Which will enter inside the ovules of the ovary. Clear? So growth of pollen tube towards the ovules present in the ovary will be example of chemotropism. Okay, so far we have studied growth independent and growth dependent movements. In growth dependent movements, which are also called tropic movements, we have studied four types. What are the four types? Phototropism, gravitropism, hydrotropism and chemotropism. Is it clear everyone? Yes, जल्दी से बताओ चैट बॉक्स में, क्या ये चारों टाइप्स सबको क्लियर है? Phototropism, gravitropism, hydrotropism and chemotropism. Yes everyone. Very good. Okay. फिर मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दूंगी, आपको बताना है किस ट्रॉपिक मूवमेंट का टाइप है, ठीक है। ट्रॉपिज्म कौन सा ये बताना है। 4 ऑप्शन है आपके, फोटो, ग्रेवी, हाइड्रो एंड कीमो। ओके, इन चारों में से मैं एक एग्जांपल बताऊंगी, वो कौन से टाइप का ट्रॉपिज्म है ये आपको बताना है, ठीक है। चलो सिंपल। बेंडिंग ऑफ द शूट टूवर्ड्स द light source. Bending of shoot, that is bending of the stem towards the light source. What type of tropic movement is this? Phototropic, gravitropic, hydrotropic or chemotropic? Very, very good. This is phototropic movement. Okay, and always remember all these tropic movements, charo types, this involves growth. ओके, दिस इन्वॉल्व्स ग्रोथ। ओके, तो ये सारे ग्रोथ डिपेंडेंट मूवमेंट्स है। ओके, सो एग्जांपल जैसे अभी हमने पढ़ा है कीमोट्रोपिज्म में, द ग्रोथ ऑफ पोलन ट्यूब टुवर्ड्स द ओव्यूल्स प्रेजेंट इनसाइड द ओवरी। ओके, सो फॉर डिफरेंट मूवमेंट्स इन प्लांट्स, proper coordination and overall growth of the plant, maturation and development of the plant body requires certain chemicals. These chemicals which coordinate various activities in plants, not only plant movements, okay, but other activities in the plants. These chemicals are known as hormones. Okay, these are like some chemical messengers. They will bring about some specific changes in different parts of the plant as per the plant need. So now let's discuss some of the hormones present in plants and their functions. Okay, so the hormones in plants are also known as plant growth regulators, PGR. Okay, plant growth regulators. They are also simply called plant hormones or phytohormones. Okay, देखो कौन कौन से नाम से। Yes, the chemicals which regulate the plant movements and in general all the activities are the hormones, right? These are chemical messengers. What are all the alternative names? Plant hormones, phytohormones and plant growth regulators, that is PGRs. Okay, so now let's see the various types. So as per your syllabus, okay, as per your textbook, we mainly have 4 different types of plant hormones. There is actually one more type, okay, जिसको हम definitely पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है, but पहले हम 4 main जो types है ये देख लेते हैं. So first we have auxin, and we have studied the role of auxin in plant movements. Remember, during the phototropic movement, as the shoot system bends towards the light source, what is happening here? Auxin, being sensitive to light, moves in the shaded region, causes cell elongation, and this unequal growth leads to bending of the shoot towards the sunlight. So here itself we have studied one role of auxin. It helps in cell elongation, it helps in phototropism, it helps in growth of the plant. Okay, so the first hormone, the first plant hormone is auxin. Second, we have gibberellins. Third, we have cytokinins. Fourth, we have abscisic acid. ये 4 hormones है. Auxin, gibberellins, cytokinin and abscisic acid. याद रहेंगे नाम सबको, 4 नाम याद रखने हैं सबको. 4 hormones: auxin, gibberellins, cytokinin and abscisic acid. Abscisic acid को हम शॉर्ट में ABA ऐसा भी लिख सकते हैं. क्या लिख सकते हैं? ABA. याद रहेगा सबको? Very, very good. Okay, so let's see next now. Role of each hormone. So auxin helps the shoot cell, okay, the stem cell to grow longer. That means it helps in cell elongation. इसका काम क्या होता है? Cell elongation, which we have studied in phototropism also, right? Clear everyone? Yes, so here you can see in the diagram we have a potted plant and there is unidirectional light coming. So light सिर्फ एक ही direction से मिल रही है. Let's say this direction. So you can see how these shoots are bending towards the light source. Why bending towards the light source? To capture more light for photosynthesis. So what is the function of auxin? It helps the stem cells or the shoot cells to grow longer. So in short, it helps in cell elongation. So this cell elongation leads to bending of the stem. Clear everyone? Apart from this, auxins in general help in growth of the plant. Okay, it will also induce formation of roots if you have a stem cutting. Okay, right? So there are basically different methods to propagate plants, to grow new plants, okay, artificially. So if you have a stem cutting, okay, you have a small twig and if you want to induce root formation, नए roots बनने चाहिए stem में, then you will apply auxins. Auxins will promote root formation. Okay, so in general they help in growth of the plants also. Next we have gibberellins. Second type कौन सा है? Gibberellins. These are also growth promoting hormone. ये क्या है? Growth promoting hormone. अब यहाँ पे देखो. Here you can see a stem. Can you see? ये stem है. Now on every stem, okay, there is basically such lines which you can see. ऐसे lines दिखाई देते हैं ना? These are nodes. ये क्या होते हैं? Nodes. Okay, ये देखो ये ऐसे lines है ना? ये nodes है. और ये जो बीच वाला region है, this region, this is known as internode. इसे क्या बोलेंगे हम? Internode. Is it clear? Region between two nodes is called internode. So when a stem elongates, that means this internode, this length of the internode will increase. Okay. So here you can see a part of this huge stem. As the gibberellins are produced in more quantities, this will result in elongation of the stem. So gibberellins will act on the stem and they will lead to elongation. Okay, इस diagram में देखो stem elongate हो गया, दिख रहा है सबको? एक पीछे जाते ये देखो, दिख रहा है? ये original था stem. अब देखो, due to action of gibberellins, the stem elongated. The distance or basically the length of internode is increased. Okay, so what is the function of gibberellins? Gibberellins help in stem elongation. They help in growth of stem. Third hormone, cytokine. Okay, so we can basically correlate this word with another term, that is cytokinesis. Okay, it refers to the division of cell. So what will be the function of cytokinins? This hormone will promote cell division. Okay, they will promote, the hormones will promote cell division. Is it clear? So as they are promoting cell division, they will help in plant movements and also in overall growth of the plant. Okay, so if you have single cell in one particular part, due to rapid cell division, you will have 2, then 4, then 8 and so on. The cells will keep on dividing. So what is the function of cytokinin? It promotes cell division. Okay, so due to growth, we can see here the flowers grow, they bloom, the plant grows, right? New cells are added in the plant body. Chalo. Now the fourth hormone, abscisic acid, ABA. अब देखो अभी तक इससे पहले हमने जो भी हार्मोन्स पढ़े हुए हैं, auxin, gibberellins and cytokinin, all these three hormones were growth promoting. Now definitely we should have some or some chemical in the plant which will inhibit the growth of plant. It should not be like cells are only, dividing, only growing, only elongating. Right? Yes, there should be a control over the cell division and overall growth process also. So we have the abscisic acid. It inhibits the growth and leads to wilting of leaves. Okay, wilting मतलब यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? Water loss होगा and the leaves will shrink. ये इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, ये फंक्शन याद रखना है सबको. ABA, that is abscisic acid, is an inhibitory hormone. It inhibits the growth and leads to wilting of the leaves, okay, shrinking due to water loss. Overall, this will also prevent germination of seed. So, abscisic acid is important because, अब देखो जैसे abscisic acid क्या कर रहा है, ये सीड को जर्मिनेट होने नहीं दे रहा है. इट इज arresting the cell or the seed in a dormant phase, okay, in a inactive dormant phase. यहाँ पे ये जर्मिनेट नहीं हो पाएगा सीड. ये क्यों जरूरी है? The seed should be completely mature and ready for germination, okay. अगर सीड पूरा mature नहीं है, then how will it germinate? How will it grow into a healthy plant? First, the seed should get ready with all the necessary structures. सही है? And once it is completely ready, it is mature, now it should germinate. So, abscisic acid will maintain the seeds in dormant condition. So, this is also very important. Clear? So, what is the function of abscisic acid? It inhibits growth and leads to wilting of leaves. Now, again, wilting of leaves. Okay? ये कैसे काम में आएगा? अब देखो, suppose if you have any plant which is facing water stress, okay, that means there is scarcity of water. Water is not available in enough amounts. तो इस केस में क्या करना पड़ेगा? प्लांट को तो पानी बचाना पड़ेगा. Yes, and we have studied that majority of water loss which occurs by the plant, सही है? This is through transpiration. This will occur through the stomatal openings which are mainly present on the leaf surface. अब आप ही सोचो, अगर पानी अवेलेबल नहीं है तो ट्रांसपीरेशन तो नहीं होना चाहिए ना, राइट? वाटर लॉस नहीं होना चाहिए. तो क्या किया जाएगा? एब्सिसिक एसिड विल क्लोज द स्टोमेटा. क्या किया जाएगा? एब्सिसिक एसिड विल ब्रिंग अबाउट सम चेंजेस and close the stomata. If the stomatal pore is closed, transpiration will not occur, water loss will not occur, and this is how abscisic acid helps the plant to survive in stressful conditions. And that is why abscisic acid is also known as stress hormone. Okay, add it in your notes. Abscisic acid is also known as stress hormone in plants because it minimizes or reduces the water loss in water stressful condition, in drought like conditions. Okay, so function में क्या क्या लिखना है? Abscisic acid inhibits growth, it leads to wilting of leaves, and it leads to closure of stomata which minimizes the water loss during drought like conditions. Clear? Very good. It will also lead to abscission of leaves, okay, falling or shedding of older leaves. So now, let's try to recollect whatever information we have understood so far regarding the plant hormones. कितने hormones पढ़े हैं हमने? 4. Auxin, gibberellins, cytokinin and abscisic acid. ठीक है? चलो अब एक एक करके क्या क्या पढ़ा एक बार देख लेते हैं. First, number 1, we have auxin. It helps in growth of shoot and it helps the cells of the shoot to grow longer. Also, auxin promotes root formation. Auxin will promote phototropism, bending of the shoot towards the light source. Okay, so what is the main function? It helps in cell elongation in the shoot. Second, we have gibberellins. It helps in growth of the stem. Again, it will lead to increase in the length of internodes. Third, cytokinins. Cytokinin will promote cell division in plants. And fourth, we have abscisic acid, that is ABA, which inhibits the growth, leads to wilting of leaves, and is the stress hormone. It is the stress hormone because it basically helps the plant to survive in stressful conditions. Okay, इसको stress hormone क्यों बोलेंगे? It will help the plant to survive in stressful conditions like scarcity of water. So in such scenarios, it will minimize the transpiratory losses by closing the stomatal pores. Okay, now चलो इस क्वेश्चन का जवाब बताओ सब लोग. Are all hormones promoting growth? Yes or no? 4 hormones हमने पढ़े हैं. Okay, auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin and abscisic acid. Now try to answer. Are all hormones promoting growth? Yes everyone, चलो जल्दी से बताओ. क्या सारे hormones growth promoting है क्या? चलो जल्दी से बताओ. Yes or no? Are all hormones promoting growth? चलो फंक्शन है आपके सामने. Yes प्रांजलि, come on, look at all these functions. क्या सारे hormones growth promoting है? देखो क्वेश्चन भी देखो. Are all hormones promoting growth? Okay, auxin is promoting growth. Gibberellin is promoting growth. Cytokinin promoting growth. But what about abscisic acid? ये देखो सामने लिखा है ना, it is inhibiting growth. Inhibit करना इसका मतलब क्या करना? Stop करना, कम करना. सही है? It is basically inhibiting, that means stopping the growth of the plant. हाँ, very very good. अब सही है आंसर. Abscisic acid is not growth promoting, right? So question क्या पूछा था? Are all hormones growth promoting? Answer will be no. All are not growth promoting. ABA, that is abscisic acid, is not promoting growth. Okay? No. देखो आंसर आ गया. सही है? Abscisic acid नहीं है ना? चलो अब हम इसको समराइज करते हैं. Auxin, gibberellin and cytokinin, ये जो तीनों hormones है, these are growth promoters. They lead to growth of the plant. And the last hormone, that is abscisic acid, this is a growth inhibitor. It will stop the growth of plant. Okay, very very good. Okay, now add one more hormone. Okay, जो textbook में आपको नहीं दिया है, but definitely we have to know about it. Okay, that is ethylene. कौन सा hormone है हमारे पास? Ethylene. This is the only gaseous hormone. ये कौन सा hormone है? Only gaseous hormone. Just wait. It is the only gaseous hormone. Clear everyone? Okay. And very important. Okay, इसके बहुत सारे roles हैं, but it is well known for fruit ripening. It is well known for fruit ripening. Okay, so if you have any ripened fruit, पूरा पका हुआ कोई fruit है, and if you keep it along with some other raw fruits, you will see these raw fruits start ripening faster. ये क्यों होता है? Because the already ripened fruit, पका हुआ जो फल होता है, this has a lot of ethylene, and ethylene which is released, okay, as it is a gas, it will be released, it will be diffusing, and other raw fruits will come in contact with ethylene. Are you getting the point everyone? Okay, so आगे देखते हैं. Okay, let us see some more examples. Okay, tropic movements के कुछ और examples देख लेते हैं. Now here you can see pea plant showing this coil like structure. ये दिख रहा है? ऐसा pea plant में होता है ना? ये देखो diagram में सब लोग, ये ऐसे coiled structure जो है, this is a tendril. Okay, also here next diagram जो है, here also you can see a grapevine. Right, the plant which is showing tendril. See this. Can you see here? ये देखो, ये भी एक tendril है. Coiled, thin, delicate structures which help the plants to cling and to get support, right? Yes, as they have very delicate stem, they need support. So this coil structure, tendril, will help in the clinging. Okay, so let's see one by one. Let's try to understand why does the tendril entwine, that means twist or wind around the object. So if you have any support, okay, if you let's say have a stick, and if there is any plant with a weak stem, like let's say a pea plant, okay, or a grapevine, which is growing close to any support, like a stick, then you will see these tendrils will like entwine, that is twist around the support. तो ये इसका मैकेनिज्म क्या है, ये कैसे होता है? Okay, so let's try to understand. Tendrils are sensitive to touch. तो यहाँ पे स्टिम्युलस क्या हो गया? टच. स्टिम्युलस क्या हो गया? टच. ओके, सो इस डायग्राम को अच्छे से ऑब्जर्व करो. Here you can see a plant with very weak stem. It is growing out again a thin delicate structure which will entwine in this support. ये जो support है, ये जो stick है, ये tendril क्या करेगा? पूरा ऐसे twist करेगा. सही है, गोल गोल twist करेगा and support will be gained. So when the small tendrils, okay, the delicate structures, when they come in contact with any object, like here the object will be this stick, the portion of the tendril which comes in contact becomes sluggish. That means it will grow slow. Whereas growth is faster in other parts. Okay, तो just imagine करना है आपको कि हमारे पास एक ऐसा सपोर्ट है, जैसे ये एक सपोर्ट है. ओके, सबको समझना है अच्छे से. एक सपोर्ट है और एक टेंड्रिल है. क्या है? एक टेंड्रिल है. And this tendril basically came in contact with the support. So ये जो point है, this is in contact with the support. So what will happen everyone? यहाँ पे growth कम होगा. और जो दूसरा पार्ट है, जैसे ये देखो, ये सपोर्ट है, ये टेंड्रिल है, ये कांटेक्ट में है और ये वाला पार्ट कांटेक्ट में नहीं है. ये फास्ट ग्रो करेगा और ये थोड़ा स्लगिश है, थोड़ा कम ग्रो करेगा. तो क्या हो जाएगा? स्लोली दिस विल कर्ल अराउंड द सपोर्ट, मोर ग्रोथ ऑन द आउटर साइड. और जो पार्ट टच होता है टू द सपोर्ट, दिस विल ग्रो स्लोली. सो दिस विल लीड टू कर्लिंग ऑफ द टेंड्रिल slowly. समझ में आया? So your stimulus is touch. What is the stimulus? Touch. When tendrils come in contact with any object like a stick, then the portion of the tendril which is in contact will grow slowly. It will become sluggish, lazy, right? And growth will be faster in the other part. So it will entwine like this. Okay, ये देखो डायग्राम में दिख रहा है सबको. Yes, so this causes the tendril to entwine itself around the object and thus cling, okay, gain support from the object. Is it clear? Now observe this diagram carefully. Can you see how the tendril is moving and curling around the support? Okay, ये देखो ऐसे ही फिर coil structure बनता है. Very good. अभी तक हमने जो भी पढ़ा है सबको क्लियर है? जल्दी से चैट बॉक्स में बताओ. एवरीवन, इज इट क्लियर? यस, रोल्स ऑफ ऑल द हॉर्मोन्स. ओके, तो 5 हॉर्मोन्स है, इतना याद रखना है. टेक्स्ट बुक में 4 ही दिए पर टोटल 5 है. ऑक्सिन, जिबरेलिन, नेक्स्ट साइटोकाइनिन, एब्सिसिक एसिड एंड द 5th वन इज इथाइलिन. वेरी वेरी गुड. यस, चलो अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now so far we have studied control and coordination in plants. What about animals? Especially we are interested more in human beings, right? Yes. So now let's move on to the animals. Mainly we will study the systems, okay, mainly the nervous system and the hormonal system in human beings, which help in control and coordination of different mechanisms, different activities of our body. Okay, so what is the topic? Coordination in human beings, okay, which is controlled by 2 separate mechanisms. Let's see the mechanisms first. First type of control is nervous control. पहला कौन सा है? nervous control. So here nervous system will be involved. Second, we have the chemical control. So chemical control मतलब यहाँ पे कौन involve होगा? Hormones, right? The chemical messenger which are secreted by specific glands, and they basically promote or inhibit different activities going on in our body. Okay. So from now we will start with the nervous control, and then we will study the chemical control, all the important hormones in our body. So let us first see the nervous control. So the human nervous system, it consists of different parts. Okay, so यहाँ पे एक एक करके अभी हमें ये समझना है. First, it has brain, right? Very obvious. Our brain is part of nervous system. Second, we have the spinal cord. दिख रहा है सबको? First, brain. Second part, spinal cord. And third will be nerves. ये 3 पॉइंट पहले याद रखने हैं सबको. Our nervous system consists of 3 main parts: brain, spinal cord, and the nerves which are spreaded throughout the body. Okay, so let's start with the nervous system in humans. So nervous system is a system that controls all the activities of the body, right? This is again one of the very, very important systems in our body which control and help in coordination between different activities of the body. Okay? Our brain is part of nervous system, right? So, अब यहाँ से बहुत ही important part start हो रहा है, ध्यान देना है सबको अच्छे से. Nervous system can be divided into 3 parts. Okay? पूरी system की हम बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. Human nervous system can be divided into 3 parts. What are the 3 parts? First, CNS, Central Nervous System. पहला कौन सा part है? Central Nervous System. Second, PNS, Peripheral Nervous System. And third, we have the ANS, that is Autonomic Nervous System. पहले ये तीनों नाम याद करने हैं सबको. Nervous System के 3 पार्ट्स है. कौन से 3 पार्ट्स है? देखो जल्दी से. We have the Central Nervous System, CNS. Next, Peripheral Nervous System, that is PNS. And next, the Autonomic Nervous System, that is ANS. याद रहेगा? Central Nervous System, Peripheral Nervous System and Autonomic Nervous System. अब ये 3 टाइप्स हमने कैसे बनाए? ओके, एक एक करके समझते हैं. So, here you can see again a human body जहाँ पे सारे सिस्टम्स है. सही है? CNS, PNS and ANS. अब इसमें से हम सिर्फ अगर जो हमारा सेंट्रल सिस्टम है, ओके, राइट इन द मिडल ऑफ द बॉडी, लाइक वर्टिकली इन द सेंटर, सही है, विच विल हैव आवर ब्रेन एंड स्पाइनल कॉर्ड. यहाँ पे 2 ही चीजें इंक्लूडेड है. आवर सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम हैज 2 पार्ट्स. फर्स्ट, you can see the brain, and second, the spinal cord. Brain is basically present inside our skull, inside our cranium. Cranium is the protective bony structure which is surrounding the brain. Okay. Also, the tube-like spinal cord is also surrounded and protected by the bony vertebral column. Okay, vertebral column is our backbone. So, central nervous system के 2 पार्ट्स है, ब्रेन एंड स्पाइनल कॉर्ड. क्लियर? चलो आगे देखते हैं इसके फंक्शन क्या है. इट रेगुलेट्स all the activities of the body, right? This is the most important part of nervous system. It contains brain and spinal cord. So obviously it will be very important. It will regulate all the activities of the body. ठीक है? Regulate करना मतलब control करना. अब दूसरा देख लेते हैं, पेरिफेरल नर्वस सिस्टम. ओके, यस, वापस एक बार देखो, ये ह्यूमन बॉडी में सारे सिस्टम्स है. ठीक है, तो एक हमारा हो गया सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम, ब्रेन एंड स्पाइनल कॉर्ड. अब दूसरा हम स्टार्ट करेंगे पेरिफेरल नर्वस सिस्टम. कौन सा है? पेरिफेरल नर्वस सिस्टम. ये देखो, दिख रहा है? अब देखो हमारे पूरे बॉडी में ऐसा एक नेटवर्क फैला हुआ है, सही है? नेटवर्क ऑफ nerves, network of nerves which connect different body parts to the brain and spinal cord. So this will be our peripheral nervous system. देखो हमारे बॉडी के एग्जैक्ट वर्टिकली सेंटर में जो सिस्टम है वो हमारा सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम है, और जो पेरिफेरल है मतलब बाकी बॉडी में जो स्प्रेड है नर्व्स, these will form the peripheral nervous system. Okay, so all the nerves present in the periphery of the body, these will form the peripheral nervous system. So it is the network of nerves spreaded throughout our body. ठीक है? It connects all the body parts to the central nervous system. Okay, like our muscles, our different body organs are connected to the brain or the spinal cord with the help of peripheral nervous system. समझ में आया? नहीं तो मैसेज किससे पहुंचेगा? सही है, राइट? दिस ब्रेन से यहाँ पे inside our skull, inside our cranium. How does our brain know what is going on in our legs or in our hands or in our heart? How does it know? Because we have the peripheral nervous system. This contains nerves which are spreaded all throughout the body. They connect different body parts to the brain and spinal cord. And brain and spinal cord means the central nervous system. Is it clear? चलो अब आगे देखते हैं. तीसरा टाइप कौन सा है हमारा? ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम. थर्ड टाइप कौन सा है? ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम. ओके, अब ये देखो, अगेन इट इज ऑल्सो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स. दिस ऑल्सो कंटेन्स some special type of nerve. Okay, the fibers which will connect some of the important body parts to the central nervous system. Okay, so here again you can see nerves which are present in the involuntary organs. Okay, involuntary organs like the heart, stomach and lungs. सबसे पहले involuntary क्या होता है? Yes, any activity. Okay, like here involuntary organ मतलब, अब देखो अगर ऐसी कोई भी एक्टिविटी है जो हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, हम डिसीजन ही नहीं ले सकते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हार्ट, whether the heart should beat or not, क्या ये हमारे डिसीजन में है? क्या ये हम डिसाइड कर सकते whether heart should beat or not, or whether the stomach should churn the food or not? No, this is not in our control. So whatever is not under our will, whatever is not in our control is involuntary. So the activities of heart, stomach, lungs, okay, these involuntary organs is due to the activity of autonomic nervous system. क्या ये सबको समझ में आया है? Right? So the human nervous system, it has three parts. What are the three parts? Central nervous system, next the peripheral nervous system, and third the autonomic nervous system. Central nervous system consists of brain and the spinal cord. Second, the peripheral nervous system contains all the nerves which are spread throughout the body. They connect different body parts to our central nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord. And third, we have the autonomic nervous system, which basically is present connected to the involuntary organs like heart, stomach and lungs. Involuntary organs का मतलब क्या होता है? इनकी एक्टिविटी हमारे कंट्रोल में तो नहीं है, सही है, वो अपने आप काम करेंगे. And they are connected again to the central system. क्या इतना सबको क्लियर है? Okay, so in upcoming lecture we will basically discuss the structure of brain. We will study first the structure of neuron, the nerve cell. Then we will study the structure of brain, spinal cord, how these systems work. Okay, a little bit about peripheral and autonomic nervous system. And then the last topic will be the chemical control. That is, we will study some of the important hormones which are produced in human body and what are their functions. Clear? तो आज के क्लास में हमने क्या क्या पढ़ा है? We have completed the plant movements. growth independent and growth dependent movements. Second, we started with the human control and coordination, wherein we have seen there are two important systems, two types of control, nervous control and chemical control. We started with the nervous control and we have simply seen what are the three parts of human nervous system, CNS, PNS and ANS. Okay, so in upcoming lectures we will discuss about all these types of nervous systems in detail. Okay, so let's stop here for today. I hope आज हमने जो जो पढ़ा है सबको क्लियर है, सबको टेक्स्ट बुक में से अच्छे से पढ़ना है, समझना है. ठीक है, लेट्स मीट इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन. ओके, बाय एवरीवन, टेक केयर.